Hello and welcome to One United. My name is Paritosh Joshi, along with Wali Siddiqui, Anshuman Joshi, and Ekas Singh disguised as Fred in the
Hmm.
chat with us. Fred, because he tackled horrendously twice to receive a red card against PSG. We lost 3-1 at Old Trafford against PSG,
And
and
I
everybody
think it's
is
a
fuming.
subliminal.
Not at
It's
Fred.
a
Eh,
it's a
It's
subliminal.
everybody.
I
Yeah, yeah.
think he's
Speak, Wali.
missing. Fred got a red card, right? So we can't see his face right now because he's not in the.
Maybe
Yeah.
he is subliminally dissing
Hmm.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for not substituting Fred for actually receiving the red card, and he's also dissing you that he'll not show his face to you because
Hmm.
you shouldn't be showing your face after the performance Martial pushed in.
Oh.
I'll talk to him first.
Yeah.
I'll
We'll
talk to
we'll
him
get to that.
first. I'll talk to
We'll
him
get to
first.
that.
Akas, you wanted to rant about Martial and Bali. Please go ahead.
I don't know where to begin from, to be very honest. I remember after the game versus Southampton, Wally came up and said
Yeah.
that most of the people who were doing the podcast and me had an agenda versus Martial. And, well, that proved to be right
Just
that
you
he's complete
and another
shit.
guy.
And it did justice completely to the performance he had. And there are no words that can describe what he actually did on that field that day. But I mean, his morale might be low, but anyone playing the game for as long as him should at least hit the target on those chances he had. And it's just
It's not
disgraceful
about the
that you
chances.
have to.
I think the type of chances he had. He had an open goal
The
in
type
front
of
of him.
chances he had, I agree with that. But he does not deserve the number nine. Number nine has been taken, like, I think twice from him already. And this might be the final straw of taking that number back again because he might be good with that dribbling on the left wing, but he's not a number nine by any means. I mean, he's as good as not having a player if you're playing him as number nine. And
Oof.
coming to Wally, I don't have any words. This guy is bad luck bear, or I don't know what he actually is.
I think he
Whatever
should
he
just.
does,
I think he should just spot supporting United, or every match United play, he should support the other team so that
yeah.
they
I
get
mean,
jinxed.
You should
this guy
you
has
should
been
have said,
supporting Delhi since like 15 years, and we know
and we made it to the
where they
finals.
are,
Yeah, we made it to the finals
and
this
we
year
made it to three semifinals, but it
last year.
doesn't matter. But honestly, coming to the point, I don't think Martial deserves number nine. Maybe he's a squad player for now, but nine is not. I don't see him. I think Igalo is twice the player he is in the number nine
Oh my
position.
God. Oh my God. That's
Now
a
this is
I mean,
strong
that's
decision.
why.
if you guys forget Igalo's reputation, if you just see Igalo as a player, I don't see what he's done wrong in the United shirt. Like he's proved every time he's gotten the chance. I don't know what else can he do to get to that nine before Martial. I mean, Martial has been scoring goals and everything before, but Igalo is more clinical than him, and it's been proved every time he's been on the pitch. So I just feel Martial is not a number nine. He might be a good left left wing player or LM, whatever you want to call him, but nine is not Martial for me.
Okay, Martial is not deserving number nine according to according to Akis. Wally, would you like to reply back to him?
No, first let Anshuman speak first. I'll be the one who'll go at the last.
Okay, Anshuman,
Okay.
I'd like your thoughts on the defeat against PSG. Go ahead.
Well, what we need to remember before we talk about the match is that PSG were in much more pressure than we were going into the match. We were leading the table and everything, and Tuchel's position was in under scrutiny. The players were not playing well, and so naturally they started this came off the gates very quickly, and we conceded that goal. So that was a shock for us, and that we needed. Throughout the match, we did not play particularly badly. I think we had a good match for the majority of the game. I think if you ignore the beginning few minutes up until when we concede the goal, and the Marquinhos goal that we concede again against the run of play. We had the match under control, and it just seemed to be going our way throughout the match because Rashford's deflected goal went in. So it just felt like we will be able to at least scrape a point against PSG again. Again in the second half, we felt like we had the control of the match. The second goal that we conceded against from via Marquinhos was again a goal that we maybe should not have conceded. The third goal that we conceded was when we were trying to get another goal, so that is not really much of an issue. The 3-1 goal scoreline does not really reflect the brilliant way in Manchester United played. The problem we had is I mostly had was the Fred sending off, obviously, because it's one like it's not that players don't get yellow cards very early in the match. We have had that a lot of times, but it's very rarely a situation where you get a player gets a yellow card, and after that you just unanimously, objectively feel that he's going to get into trouble again. And that was the case with Fritz. Like you look at the fans, the players, everyone that has talked about him since, and we included, we all knew that it was not a very wise decision keeping him on the pitch, and we were discussing it at the time as well. And at the time, I felt, well, you know what, maybe it's like 40 minutes were approaching. So I thought maybe we want to save a substitution slot and keep him out till the halftime. And then obviously he'll take him off. That did not happen. And to his credit, Fetch did play well. He had a great game. And ironically, the foul that eventually did lead him to a red card was not exact much of a foul for me. And despite that, given the fact that even when we went down to 10 men, we really did not play badly. We still were under a lot of control. And there were a lot of moments that did not went for us, like Cavani's chip. That would have been a lovely goal to take. Martial, he should have scored that goal. I think we all agree that it was a bit of a sitter. And things have not really been working for him. Like if have to talk about Martial and isolation, like Eka said right now, that when he's not scoring goals, there is very little that he offers alongside him. He's a brilliant dribbler. He's a good player. There's nothing that we are disputing on that front. But what he's offering on the pitch right now, when he's not scoring the goals, is not really worth having him on the pitch, and that's just something that all he needs to manage. And the team played well. Undoubtedly, the team did play well. But when you make these controversial decisions like keeping Fred on the pitch, then either way, if it goes south, then you have to own that decision, and this decision has to stay with Oli because he decided to keep Fred on the pitch, and for better or worse, he got sent off. It did not work out for him, so that goes on him. And now we go into the last match playing against Leipzig, who again had a brilliant match against Başakşehir. So yeah, I think like we already discussed in the last episode that I would have rather that we got a point and we went into the last match not getting worried about this. But here we are
Mm.
again, and the only respite that I have going into the last match is that last season also in the Premier League we were in the same position where we could have secured Champions League like with 2 matches in hand, but we deliberately fucked up in our remaining few matches. Like we drew matches where we should not have, and we went into the last match needing to defeat Leicester City, and that is pretty much the similar position we are in now. So I still think that we have an upper hand. I still think that we should be able to get a point against Leipzig, but yeah, we'll see. I guess it wasn't a bad performance, but we still did not manage to win.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad performance, but we didn't manage to win. The topic at hand, Martial, not a number nine. Is he a number nine or not? Uh, I think Ekis has already said what he wanted to. Do you want to add anything, Ekis, about Martial not being a proper number nine? Ekis, can you hear me?
He's in the dugout now. The referee has sent him off, I guess.
The referee has sent Fred off, so I'll think about talking. I'll think about anyone else. Anshuman, would you like to add anything about Martial, or should I go on to Wali?
Like the idea that I still think that he's more of a number nine than he's a left winger. I think we have discussed this in detail that he likes to play as a number nine. I think for me that does have to take a bit of precedence as to what he should play in. A lot of people say that he plays better as a left winger, but when he used to play as a left winger, people used to say that he doesn't like to play as left winger. He should be played centrally. So it's just that kind of debate for me. He plays somewhere in the middle. He likes to drift out wide when he's playing as a number nine. He likes to come inside when he plays as a left winger. That's just where he likes to play. That's his average position. And that would make sense in a front two if you had a focal point of a striker around which Martial could revolve. But the sole number nine role doesn't really work out for him because, as we have already discussed, when things are not going for him, it is very difficult for him to be able to contribute to the team in any other way. So yeah, that's pretty much what has been going on for him. And hopefully he'll be able to turn his performances around. But right now it's just not working out for him.
Ekas, do you want to add anything to the whole debate about Martial not being
Yeah,
a number nine? Or
I definitely want to add. So I was thinking that if Cavani is your real number nine, who is in form, who's scoring, and then Rashford, who offers a bit more than Martial, who's probably on the same level as Martial at finishing, but would you play Martial or would you play Rashford? Because Cavani is your number nine when he's fit and he's scoring. So I don't see any place for Martial because he cannot play on the right. He cannot play anywhere else except as a striker or a left winger, and those two positions are already taken. So I think Martial deserves to be on the bench, and I mean he can come off the bench. And another point I wanted to add that Rashford has a shoulder injury right now.
yeah, yeah.
So what do you do? Do you
You
risk him for Leipzig? Do you risk him for West Ham? What do you actually do? So Martial needs to step up anyway because we don't have a player. We're a player down actually. If
Yeah, certainly we are a player down, and there is this definite sense of gloom over the fixture against West Ham, which we'll be talking about in a while. Wally, I'll come to you, and then we'll conclude about the Martial issue. What do you think about the Martial issue, PSG loss, and everything? Please conclude.
Well, first and foremost, it was. I think it wasn't a really bad game for United. It was not one of those pathetic losses that we keep on talking about whenever we lose. And it was quite a strange one. And even if you look at the first fixture with PSG, it was it was more of a basketball match, like end to end stuff. Like on one end they're attacking, on the other end we're attacking. Even though they had the more number of chances, we had the better chances, I feel, and we should have easily won that game. And yes, it's really sad to see the way that Anthony Martial is playing right now. He's clearly short of confidence. This is the worst that I've ever seen him play. He's been here since 2014, 2015, and now it's 2020. You are seeing him getting sent off. You are seeing him scoring own goals. You are seeing him miss open goals. This is something that I never expected. And you cannot question his skill because you know that he's a bundle of quality. He was a top scorer last season. He was a top scorer in this first season of the Premier League, and basically the thing about skill goes out of the window. But the thing is that he's not in the right frame of mind. And I remember that people were saying that it's because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his uh, striking the instinct of a striker that he has. It's because of him that Anthony Martial was able to come to his best. So it will be once again up to him to bring him back to his best. So yeah, and it's short, and you have to find a way to bring his confidence back. Be it by benching him, I'm all right with that, or be it by making him play even more games. That's up to him. But right now, like you just said, Marcus Rashford is injured, and Greenwood is there. Greenwood isn't performing either. I think apart from Rashford, none of our attacking players, apart from Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, none of our attacking players are performing to that level. Coming to that question, coming to that, when Akas spoke about Odion Igalo, that was a load of crap. That was seriously a load of crap. And you are basically comparing Odion Igalo's last season to Anthony Martial's last season based on what you saw last season. So there is absolutely no comparison in that sense. And let's not forget that he's also a David De Gea fan, and he has been missing some sitters as well. He's been conceding a lot of goals. Not this season, but for last season and the season before that. But he stuck with him, right? So that's what you have to do because you know that some players have to be. And by the way, the three most important players post Sir Alex Ferguson have been David De Gea, Marcus Rashford, and Anthony Martial because these three have been constant. The rest of the players have always been changed, but these three
Mhm.
have been a constant in the 11. Anshuman is laughing right now. I don't think he agrees with me, but
Mhm.
it is a matter of fact. As for the final game that we have against Leipzig, I think it was quite expected that we're going to screw up against PSG because we just do not love doing things the easy way. I think we'll still go through. I hope we do. And yeah, like Anshuman said, it's that Leicester game all over. It's all over again when we just needed a point to qualify. And it's not going to be an easy watch, man. We just have to. I can't believe that we're going to be up all night. And if it turns out to be a waste, then forget about the sleep that you get. So just hoping for the best,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I'll just like to conclude on the whole Anthony Martial issue because it's now really. I think I've always been a fan of his skill. It's never a doubt that he's a talented player, but it's just that he's too frustrating a player that I want to deal with. There's already Paul Pogba situation going on, and with Anthony Martial, I just feel this eternal gloom every time he is on the pitch and he's not smiling. And that is like 90% of the games that he's playing. He plays with a straight face, and his straight face is almost terrifying to everyone in his team, not the opposition. In his team itself, it's like, oh my god, this guy is about to do something really stupid because उसकी शक्ल पे दिखता है कि वो ना रो रहा है कि मेरे को नहीं खेलना है क्यों खेल रहा हूं मैं ये गेम ही इज नॉट लविंग द फुटबॉल दैट ही इज प्लेइंग एंड दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच इज रियली सैड आई डोंट रियली थिंक there should be any football player who should play like this. And for same goes for Anthony Martial. He plays well when he is happy, when he is smiling. And right now, I don't think he is, and I don't think he is actually quite enjoying his football. So
It's
I'd
more of
like
a
to
mental
believe
thing.
that yeah, I'd like to believe we need to give him a rest, and then we should be able to get the best of him. Coming back to the whole Marcus Rashford issue, Marcus Rashford is injured, and I don't think he'll be playing any part against West Ham United. And with that situation brewing, Greenwood is the only proper option that we have, and we need points against West Ham because this particular match is really important. This propels us into the top four, I think. This particular victory,
Hmm.
if we are
It
able
might.
to manage, this might propel us into the top four, and that will change the outlook of Manchester United and how the season is going because everybody was bashing us, even our fans, even we ourselves were bashing how the season is going. This will totally change the outlook of the season and how it's going for Manchester United. Enough for PSG and Anthony Martial. I'd like to change things up now, and we have a game against West Ham, and it is today because it's already almost half an hour past 12 here in India. The time is 11 p.m. IST, 5th of December, and it's a Saturday. So the bigger question also comes that then again we are playing very rapidly, and if cup games come, how will FA change? If FA will change the amount of fixtures that United and the other top clubs which play in the Champions League are playing, or will there be no respite for any of the clubs? We'd like to talk about the whole match, and I'd like to start with the United's long injury list. The United's long injury list is constantly growing. Marcus Rashford is the latest addition to it, and with the amount of load that this guy is facing, I'm not surprised that Rashford is injured. He's been played almost every game in this season, and it's really sad that some players are just being pushed down to the brink. And same goes for someone like Bruno Fernandes. He's also in similar situation, but he has someone like Van de Beek who can come in and give him some rest from time to time. Paul Pogba coming in from time to time. So there is still some rest. Marcus Rashford is not receiving any kind of help from his teammates. Else then Cavani, Greenwood is not in the best of form. Martial, we all know what kind of season he is facing. So what are the options that United have, and how can United fix things around this whole injury list? I'd like to talk to Anshuman first about it.
Well, in the midweek, I was very surprised to see David De Gea and Alex Telles come into the starting 11 because I had just ruled them out unequivocally. And so
Hmm.
it's like we are in quite a situation where the injuries that we are having, they are muscular injuries and all that. But many a times you don't even know the extent of injury. So it gives the manager a problem because the games are coming in thick and fast, and many a times some players that you would think are just gone for a while now, they come back, and the ones that you count on day in day out like Rashford, they are not able to continue. And I think in his latest press conference he did say that there's very it's highly unlikely that Rashford will continue. So it becomes a dilemma for us because if you put Cavani aside, even Cavani, he came through in the last game against Southampton. He played brilliantly, and position-wise, he's been amazing. But Martial has not been playing well. Daniel James, we know about his perpetual mediocrity. And Juan Mata, he has played well. He in the starting in the season in the League Cup matches, but in the Premier League, his performances have not been up to the mark. Greenwood has been regressing this season, sadly, so far. And I think it's very crucial for us to handle him in a very delicate way because he's in that age. So yeah, it does create quite a conundrum because the only player apart from Cavani that we have been relying on is Marcus Rashford, because whether he's scoring in or not, he's contributing very much a lot to the game. And if he's not playing, I think I will find it very surprising if we start with a front three. I still think that Martial and Greenwood can start. I'm not sure if that is the right way to go about it, especially if we only have three substitutions in the league. And
Hmm.
I won't be surprised if we start with a 3-4-3 because Telis and Van Bissaka are still there. Our midfield options are still intact. And Bruno will be there. I think Van de Beek, every time he comes on the pitch, he warrants himself a starting 11 for the next match. And so there is that. And I think defensive options, I think we need to go with a 3-4-3 because whatever defensive options we have left, attacking options that we have left, even if they are not firing on all cylinders, I think we need to protect them also more. And maybe there's a very slight chance that Igalo might start. I'm not really sure about it, but you know what? And last match, saw Lingard was training on the sideline. So you never know. I think the options are there. They are just not the reliable ones. So I will not be surprised if we start with a 3-4-1-2 or a midfield diamond just so that we have two strikers up front. Maybe Cavani will be coupled by Martial or Greenwood for the starters. I think it will be interesting to see how he lines up. But with me, the most important thing is Bruno starts. I would like to see Van again. So yeah, that is the crucial part of me, and I think back three will be a likely scenario.
Okay, so back three is the likely scenario for Anshuman. Wali, what are your thoughts about the game, and what do you think about the whole injury list growing for United, and how will Manchester United deal with it?
Well, here's where I have to criticize Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first and foremost. The thing is that even though that he has the squad depth right now, he doesn't use it as much as we think he should. Even in the previous game, if you look at it, the same thing was repeated. Fred was like Anshuman had repeated. He was already on a yellow card, and like I said, that if he walks off without getting sent off, that would be a miracle, and that didn't happen. So every kid, every 2-year-old, 3-year-old, or even it's his or her dog should have known that Fred was going to get sent off that night. I do not know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did over there. And that's a similar thing which he's doing with Marcus Rashford. He's persisting with him. He's persisting with him. He's pushing him. He's pushing him to the ground. Bruno Fernandes might face a similar issue. He did that with Harry Maguire last season. You have Axel to NJB on the bench. Why do not you use him for the Premier League games? You have you had Donny van de Beek and Paul Pogba and Nemanja Matic to feature in central midfield in front of Fred. Why did you not use them? Do you think that those players couldn't fill in the shoes of Fred? Is Fred that good? He has been a star this season, but seriously, Paul Pogba and Donny van de Beek are quality as well. So this is something which he needs to do. He has his favorites, but he needs to keep rotating. Otherwise, it's going to be the same issue. I'm not a really big fan of Scott McTominay either. You need, yes, all right, squad rotation is all right, but you need another reason why we lost against PSG was once you have Scott McTominay and Fred, the creativity disappears from the pitch because Bruno Fernandes is in the advanced area. You cannot expect him to hold the ball 24/7. You need to have central midfielders of the likes of Nemanja Matic and Donny van de Beek who could cushion the ball and distribute it in the right way. So that is something which he needs to do. And I do not know why he's not starting Donny van de Beek. He has been also one of our most impactful players this season. you are going to get injured, man. This is something which will happen. This happened with Marcus Rashford last season. Luckily, because okay, or should I say unluckily, it was COVID, because of which he had recovered and came back. Hadn't it been COVID, then we wouldn't have seen Marcus Rashford back. The same thing happened with Paul Pogba last season, and the same thing is happening with Marcus Rashford once again. And this is not a joke. This could be career threatening because it's reoccurring with Marcus Rashford. Back issues are
Mm.
no jokes, man. So you need to be careful. He's one of your most influential players on the pitch, and it's a long list of injuries. You need to rotate your squads, and you need to give chances to Mason Greenwood. He hasn't started Mason Greenwood as much. I think he needs to be rotated
I
over here.
he did start him for a while, but Mason Greenwood hasn't been firing as
And
everyone
let's
expected. That's the thing. That's why he's being rested, I think.
and the other thing is that if Martial hadn't fell sick in the game against Southampton, he would have started, and Edison Cavani wouldn't have gotten opportunity. So this is what makes me even more frustrated. You've bought these bunch of players. Why don't you start them? Now you have Aaron Van Bissaka, who's consistently starting at right back. You could rotate Brandon Williams for a few minutes, because the guy just keeps on tackling. You're just jeopardizing him, and he's also one of our most important players. So
Mm.
yeah, it's tough times at the moment. West Ham is going to be a very tricky fixture, and I think these two or three next, you have West Ham, then RB Leipzig, and Manchester City. So okay, fine. West Ham might be not that influential in that regard, but if you lose to Leipzig and then followed by a defeat to Manchester City, I think he's
Mm.
walking on a bridge that is about to be broken. So he needs to be really careful over here, and he needs to get the results, because things might just get really serious for him.
Yeah, this is something that he needs to take care of because it's not every day that you have players like this, and he's not rotating them properly. That's a fair argument. I wanted to talk to Akers about it, but he has been disconnected. I think it's an internet issue. We'd like to continue on the whole West Ham United fixture, and I think personally this is going to be a tough fixture. West Ham have been playing a dogged kind of football, and you expect that out of the Hammers. It's
3 wins
not
on the bounce
something.
for them.
Yeah, and they are a dogged team that everybody knows, and they are a team that could hurt you in a set piece as well.
Moyes.
So, and he is that kind of manager. He is good with mid-table teams.
Hmm.
You can't forget how good he was with Everton, and that's his skill. You can't deny that. So you need to be a little cautious. I personally think that. The back three that Anshuman was talking about, that'll that'll not work particularly. I want Tuanzebe. I like the Tuanzebe bit because I believe if Bai is fit, and I think Bai is fit, is back to fitness, and he is back to fitness against West Ham. So I think Bai and Tuanzebe along with Aaron Van Bissaka and Alex Telles could be a great defensive four. I'd like to start with them. Then you can use Donny van de Beek and Paul Pogba together, along with Nemanja Matic. That'll give rest to Fred. That'll give rest to Bruno, and that will also give time to
McTominay.
McTominay to rethink his strategy and how he wants to play. Because Scott McTominay hasn't been in the same form he was when he earlier came into the squad, and
Hmm.
especially last season. So I think this is the preferred three I would go with in the middle, and that I'd also like to give David De Gea a rest because although he played against PSG, he was constantly grabbing his knee
Yeah,
and
I noticed that.
he was in pain. And I want Henderson because he is a good goalkeeper. You can't deny that he played a good game when he was on the pitch the last time after
Hmm.
David De Gea got injured. So I think Henderson should start. I don't think he will because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer prefers David De Gea, and with uh, with that happening, that leaves us with Marcus Rashford out of the side because he's injured. So I
I
think
would want
Cavani would start.
Lingard. I would want Lingard in place of Rashford on the
Lingard,
right.
but Lingard would be a substitute player. He wouldn't be starting. I don't think because he was injured and he has just come back into the first team training. I don't think he'll be starting the game for United. And
Hmm.
I'd like to see Mason Greenwood and what he can offer from the right, and from the left, I'd like to bring in Dan James because Anthony Martial is in no way or shape or form ready to start. I
Hmm.
think he needs a boost, and I think putting him on the bench would provide him with the hunger that he usually needs in times when he is not performing his best. So that will be my predicted 11 or what I want United to be. I don't think this is the situation that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be putting his team in because too many fresh faces is not what we've seen of late from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He likes to keep the squad similar with two maximum two or three changes. These many changes are not what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is known for, and I believe that is going to be the issue. Okay, so Ekis is back with us. I'd like to add him and talk to him about the game. Akis, do you have anything to say about the West Ham game and how United should deal with the injury list?
I mean, they should not take it lightly, obviously, but they should play the players who will either start on the bench or not play against PSG. Against Leipzig, because I think Leipzig is a very, very important game. That could be a difference of about 100 million pounds going into next season, and about getting a
Hmm.
like a player like a Sancho or equivalent. So I feel they need to go all out in the Leipzig game, and I wouldn't risk anyone who will not play in that game to play versus West Ham. So I'd start Igalo and Greenwood and Fred.
Isn't
No,
Cavani a player you want to start with?
no, not at all because I think he played 90 minutes or seven. How many minutes did he play? 70 minutes against
70,
PSG.
70,
70
yeah.
odd minutes
Cavani,
he
Around
played.
70.
yeah, 70 odd
Yeah,
minutes he played.
I with the we are going to play 8 games in the next 24 days. So I don't
Hmm.
want to risk Cavani for a game against West Ham, which is going to be difficult.
Hmm.
But I'd
Because it's
rather
also
play
a crucial
Igalo
game
and
for the Premier
Greenwood.
League.
I think
Because
Greenwood is not in form. You should start
yeah,
him and give him confidence. So I will play with Greenwood and then I'll play Fred and then I'll play Pogba. I'll start Pogba because he did not play the full game against PSG and he needs game time. So I'll start Pogba and I'll definitely start Martial in that game. So that's
So that
far
he
as
doesn't start.
that's far as I go.
Martial starts for him because he doesn't want Martial to be
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
in
yeah, I
the
get it.
game.
I get it. I get it.
And Rashford, Cavani, Bruno.
Rashford is injured. Rashford
Rashford
is
is
injured.
injured.
Rashford is
Okay, so these players need to like be saved for the next week encounter
injured.
because it's
Hmm.
technically 100 million here and there, and with the crisis right now, I think we need to go to the next round of Champions League
Hmm.
and get some more
I,
money. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay. Defensively, do you want any changes?
Defensively, is Luke Shaw back or is he still injured?
No, no,
nope.
he's still injured. He'll
Okay.
be back to full fitness around 11th or 10th, I think.
Okay, so I mean, I would play Brandon Williams in left back, and because
Or
even
Telles or Williams.
I'll play Williams because I want the legs to be fresh against Leipzig. So I will play Williams, and we don't have a choice between to rest centre backs,
No,
unfortunately.
we
So
can play Tuanzebe and
Tuanzebe.
Bailly.
yeah, I
Tuanzebe and
mean,
Bailly.
you'll have to rest only one of the two. So I don't think he's gonna give a rest to Maguire anyway. So it'll be Maguire and Tuanzebe or Lindelof and Maguire. I don't really care about the centre backs to be honest.
I believe Tuanzebe along with Lindelof is a better duo than Maguire with Tuanzebe.
But he
We
will
saw
not
how
let Maguire sit. I don't know why. He wants to justify the 80 million tag on his head, but he's going to play him until he gets his money back. So Maguire's going to play anyway. But Tuanzebe is a good addition, and I think we can play him. What about Timothy Fosu Mensah? What's he up
he is
to?
a fuck all player. Yeah. Don't fucking bring Fuso Mensah in
Of
here.
all the players you could have mentioned, Akers, that is
भाई
not the
Fosu
player we want to
Mensah.
उसको
talk
बुरा
about.
लग गया वो चला गया.
He's a fuck all fucking player. I hate that guy, man.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, I rarely say this about any player, but he's a fuck all player and he's not United quality. And you see players who are United quality. Even I believe Dan James is quality if you give him proper time from the left. He's a decent player. Fuso Mensah is a fuck. He okay. You're a defender and you don't know how to defend. You're a defender and you don't know how to defend. How will you fucking play? It's beyond my sense. Have you seen him play? He can't hold
Yeah,
his own. He's so he's so bad. I don't understand why he was playing in place. And you have to play in place of Aaron Van Bissaka, probably one of the two best right backs in the whole league.
I remember.
How will
I
you
remember.
replace Bissaka?
I remember Marcus Rojo played a left back one game in the Europa League, and he was much more effective than Fosu Mensah was with those
I
crosses. And he
I
also did a
believe
Rabona.
I'd believe Phil Jones is better than Fuso Mensah, and that itself is a statement. If Phil Jones is
Okay,
better than you,
that's too harsh now.
Phil Jones,
That's,
who we believe is a freeloader, if he is deemed better than you, then that is a reality check. I don't want him in my
wow.
team, yeah. I don't want Fuso Mensah.
Chalo, देखते हैं. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so we've all done our predictions for the starting 11. If
Score
Ikas comes
lines.
back, I'd like to take his prediction as well. But firstly, I'd like to take your predictions. What do you think is going to be the score line against West Ham? I'd like to start with Wally first. Wally, because you've been starting late in every other segment, I'd like to give you the first choice here. What do you think is going to be the score line against West Ham? And this is at West Ham. We are going
Hmm.
to their stadium.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough game, and let's not forget that West Ham are gonna have 2,000 fans behind their backs.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a whole new
After a long
challenge,
while,
and
after a
after a
long
long
while,
while,
we'll be facing fans in the stadium.
right? And we have been talking about our away form. I hope we continue
8
that because
wins.
if we beat them in front of their fans, that would be something to admire about, and we need that confidence before the Leipzig game.
Hmm.
But I think it's going to be a draw. I honestly feel that it's going to be a draw because West Ham have also been in really good form. And we have,
Hmm.
I don't know, we always concede crappy goals, man. We always have this tendency of conceding crappy goals. The two goals that we conceded against PSG, the ball popped out of nowhere and Neymar scored, and then it was Marquinhos. It was all crap, man. That's
Last goal was nice.
last
You
goal was
can't
good.
say,
That's why I didn't talk about the last goal. Last goal was a stuff of individual brilliance, but the
uh,
first two were crappy, and we've done that time and time again. So I think that's gonna happen once again because they're good at set pieces, they're good at headers. So I think it's gonna be a draw, 1-1 draw.
okay, a 1-1 draw for Wally Anshuman. What do you think is going to be the score line against West Ham?
Well, West Ham already were a very tricky team to play at the London Stadium, and David Moyes has started to build that team in his image now from his Everton days. So I think it's going to be very hard for us, to get not only an opening but to stop any goals against them. And I was going to go with a 1-1 draw, but now that Wally has taken that, I would like to go against my better instincts and say that we are going to lose this match 2-1 because I cannot see how we are going to stop West Ham from conceding because from scoring because they have that a lot of attacking prowess in their heading, and I think they're going to
Hmm.
run us bit by bit, and I think we're going to have a hard time. I think we're going to go behind. We're going to try coming back into the game, but we are going to fail. So it's a 2-1 defeat for me. I would be more than happy to be proved otherwise, obviously as a fan, but
We all
the
would.
part of me feels that it's going to be a 2-0, 2-1 with 2-1 defeat to us.
2-1 defeat for Anshuman, and I'd like to be optimistic here because we hit back when we lose. And the PSG game, we played well and we lost. I think we're going to win the West Ham game. We're going to win 2-0. I'd say it will
Right.
be a 2-0 win for United. And I believe that Martial will be scoring one of them if he plays.
Mhm.
If Martial plays, Martial will score, and I believe Greenwood will score one. Greenwood or Pogba.
Mm, mm.
So we'll have to see how the game goes, and we'll be back again talking about it. If we are able to do one tomorrow, just after the game, we'll do it. If
Let me
not,
just
we'll do it.
let me
We'll
ask
do
you
it.
one. Let me ask you one
Yeah, yeah,
final
yeah,
question, Paritosh.
yeah,
Since
yeah.
Anshuman and I are pretty much, I think Anshuman, you also would want some other manager in place of Oli, if I'm not mistaken.
Not
So I
really,
would
not
like
right
to.
now.
I
Not
thought you
right
were,
now.
but not right now. Okay,
No,
fine.
no,
So
that
the
that that is a
so then
that is a
He
discussion that we
always
can
was
have
he.
another time.
He
All
was
right.
always
So
in
so
Because
favor
right
of
now, because
someone.
we are concluding the episode, which is why we are saying. So I think we can
Uh,
discuss this
he
after the
was
match
okay,
also.
because
fine,
we
fine,
talked
fine.
about
That
we talked about
why I
we,
feel that it's not the point.
we
So fine,
we
we'll
talked
discuss
about
about
it
that.
when he talked about it when we were discussing about Ole out and the whole situation. He was also on same page as me. I think that there is no way another manager can do something very different with this particular side in this season. If you have to change the manager, you'll have to wait for the season to be over. If that is a big if. I think I'm right, Anshuman. If you'd like to change anything I said about the opinion that you had, you can change it.
That is pretty much about it because this is something we have discussed in detail and we surely will
Um,
again when we lose again because every time United lose, Oli is not
yeah.
supposed to be at the wheel.
The
So,
good,
Wally, what were you
the
asking? What were you asking? We'll conclude
yeah,
it in a while.
you both have answered it, so no point of asking it now.
Okay.
Anyway,
So,
but
what is
but
your
the thing
take?
is,
What do you want? What do you want?
no, no, I also I feel that
You are
we
only
should
out
get
now.
another manager. Yeah, yeah, I feel that we should get another manager. And the thing is that, but the good thing is that the pressure is on him, and we all know what happens when the pressure is on him. So I'm pretty much relaxed. So it's not going to be this week, the next week, the week after, because whenever
He
he's
is
at the
not gonna
pressure
get
hits.
sacked. He's not gonna get
So,
sacked. Trust me, he's not gonna get sacked because you see
but
when
this
a
is
team is about to get sacked, when a manager is about to get sacked, now there are performances where you see that this manager is not doing anything and his squad is all over the place. Then the manager, you somehow
but
see it. You don't see the
l-
same situation with United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think
uh,
Anshuman will
look, we.
probably agree with me.
I personally do not have any problem with Solskjaer, but the problem is we have been a decent team, but to go to the next level, it's been too. We've been the most inconsistent team, like
Who? If
consistently
not Oli, then
inconsistent.
who? If not Oli,
Uh,
then who? Posh can't fix it. Posh can't fix it.
if
And
you
you
want
know
to
it.
go to another
And
level,
you know
anyways,
it.
we'll discuss about this some other time, and it's
Yeah,
getting
we'll
late.
discuss about it. It's getting late and
Yeah,
we have already discussed about it enough. So
yeah.
I think we'll discuss about it later. If we lose against West Ham, Wally will have
Nah,
his hands
not
up
after West Ham. Not after
after
West Ham. But
Leipzig. After Leipzig.
if we get knocked
After
out, I
Leipzig.
cannot. I do not want to be in the Europa League. I cannot be. I'm not gonna watch that shit. I cannot. It'll be
Okay.
impossible to watch. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, he's practicing the
we'll have
Europa
to
League tune now. Anshuman is practicing the Europa League
wait.
tune.
I miss the tune so much. It's a good
At
Right.
least
anthem.
we'll have a shot at the trophy. At
Uh,
least we'll have a shot at the trophy.
Maybe, maybe.
We'll have Real Madrid there. Hey? By the way,
Okay,
we'll
Real
have,
Madrid. But Real
yeah,
Madrid
they'll
is
be there.
also doing fuck all, na. Real Madrid is not doing anything nice. They are not impressive at all. So we'll have
Well,
to see. It's long topic. We'll have to cover it.
Let's
We'll
lose to
see if we.
Leipzig first
Uh,
before talking
uh,
Europa.
uh, I think that is it from our side at One United. We'll see you guys again after the West Ham game. We'll talk about the West Ham game. Hopefully we win. Uh, Wali and Anshuman think otherwise, but let's see. Right now, I'm pretty optimistic about it. We'll see how what happens, and we'll talk about the Leipzig game in the next episode as well. We'll see you guys hopefully after the just after the West Ham game. If not, a day or two later. See you guys again soon, and goodbye.
bye bye.